Going while we still have warm blood.
Oh, there we are. We're live.
Hey,
on
I just
YouTube,
I
on
just came
Hulu,
here.
Netflix,
Hey guys,
on Amazon Prime.
I just
She's
came
the president. Hello.
I just came here to dance.
Oh, okay.
Dang it, Blake. I was gonna ask you. You just didn't come here to dance.
I came here to drink.
Why don't you take out the let's and you just
I mean,
sweet.
I'm not wearing pants, so
you have a black heart.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool.
Well,
Should we start this off?
And like usual, we'll try to make it go downhill as fast as possible.
Yeah.
We just gotta get out of our system so we can produce high quality podcasts.
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right. Do this. Hey, I'm Matt Linder.
Hey, and I'm Zach Deere.
And this is Music L. We have a returning guest, a guest who's been on the most of any other guest. First, he came on to tell us about the Holy Gospel, the good news.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, it's been a while.
Then he talked about hip hop.
That's
and
right.
then last year, he came on to talk about Halloween.
Yeah.
So
only reason I watched that movie.
All this
that follows.
Yeah.
That thing bugged me for so long. It's very hard for me to get in the car afterwards.
But now
every morning,
he's bringing us something else.
That's right.
But first, it is Blake Collier that's with us.
Whoop, 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 whoop. How's it going, guys?
Hey.
What's up, man?
So,
can they see me?
Married Blake Collier.
I don't know if they
should say.
Last
time he was on, he was not married.
That's right. I am married now. I am married, no longer a virgin.
I was gonna say this is post virginity, Blake.
Yes.
What are you lasting? 3 minutes now?
Yeah. His wedding was great. I flew out to Texas to be there.
That's right.
You had some good people out there too.
My wife and my twins came out with me.
Yeah.
It was really, really awesome. Got to hang out with Blake the night before, enjoy some beers.
Yep. Got some home brews.
Yeah.
Specialty made for the wedding.
Yes, that was excellent. Yeah.
Yep. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I was in California during all that, and I just got to watch all the coolness that was going on, being sad.
Got to watch it on the gram.
I can see Zach sitting at the Facebook Live recording, just going, "Oh."
It's all sad. Yeah.
But I'm back.
You're back. And what are you bringing us tonight?
I'm bringing y'all the greatest pop record of all time. Well, let's be honest. It's probably not the greatest of all time.
That's followed by an asterisk saying maybe.
Huey Lewis in the news, right?
Yes. Sports.
Yes.
No. But I would say that this is one of the greatest pop albums of all time. Maybe not the best, but one of them. And it is Emotion by Collier Jepsen.
You messed up your alliteration of
things. Emotion. Which most people I've seen write it don't put the asterisks in there, which I think is cheap. I say if they put it in the album title, it should go in everything as it's written. So that's me. So
I guess I screwed up the title of this live stream.
No, Matt, you do you.
I think everyone that spelt it wrong should. Oh, hey, Matt.
No, I did it wrong.
That's all right.
It's all right, Matt. We still really like you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's like one. Some might say that you're all that.
All right, guys. Before I get lost,
we should totally move into this beer now.
But hold on, we should talk about our favorite color because Matt and I are wearing some sweet.
Yes, look at that,
man. Those are beautiful.
Yep.
See, I'm not wearing
Yeah.
anything cool like that. I'm wearing a plain green tee from Old Navy.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not cool like y'all.
We
and
got
no
some
pants, right?
yellow shirts with
Yeah.
Music L on it,
Yep.
which you can pick up at musicl.threadless.com. Definitely want to get a shirt.
Definitely, because you can't see us wearing it, but if you're at least wearing the shirt while listening to our podcast, it increases the experience by at least 10%.
Yeah. Only 10%.
At least.
We can't promise more than that.
So, how much if I am to buy a shirt, how much more attention will I get as a human being?
A lot more, because we are incredibly famous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're on YouTube. Okay,
Like,
we're on YouTube.
like, am I gonna get if I'm gonna
YouTube with 0 viewers, right?
wait, am I gonna get bigly attention?
Big league. Our big league.
Bigly attention.
Big league. Yes. Yes.
Just in case we have some listeners that didn't get the joke, would you mind explaining? All right.
Oh, you want me to actually explain it?
I don't actually get it, but we can continue.
I just said big league because our president uses big league, or not big league, bigly. For once I said big league that time. I didn't mean to say that. I've been saying bigly the whole time. So my opinion.
Well,
yes, if you want to.
It makes sense. It was a somewhat political joke because I am not up to date with political things. So.
If you want to be
everything's
winning,
horrible, Zach. It doesn't matter.
If you want to be winning, you'll get a Music L shirt. If you want to be winning, the biggest winning ever.
The biggest.
Do we have a wall?
Yeah, we're the best podcast about music and beer that there is.
This is gonna be the most. This is gonna be the most downloaded episode.
Well, it's gonna be all that. So let's get into it.
Let's get into that beer.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm ready to snap.
What's the beer that we're having?
So the beer I picked to pair with this wonderful album is Stone's Tangerine Express IPA, which is a quite delightful IPA. Stone is one of the best as far as IPAs go, in my opinion. So I haven't had too many from them that I hated. So
I'm pretty sure even on their cans they gloat about being one of the best. So
yeah, well, it's not
arrogant bastard.
It's not arrogant whenever it's true. So they're just telling you like it is.
I do like Stone. Actually, they're one of the more.
They're the most winning at IPAs.
Yeah.
Hey, so the people on YouTube, can they see me?
I still don't know that.
They should be able to.
Like only when he pops up though, right? Or is he the small box?
Sorry, I had a new piece of technology. I was going to see how it worked. Hey, I actually got Zach to laugh. That's impressive.
I know. I'm such a black heart, cold taste.
Yes, all those things.
That's because we're wasting time, and he just came here to dance. So,
yeah,
let's dance with this beer.
But actually, I didn't just come here to dance, Blake. I came here to talk about this.
As you should. So it's been a few weeks since I've had this. I usually have this probably once every 3 or 4 weeks because it's pretty popular in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
So
wait, is that where you are now in Oklahoma?
Yep, I'm in Oklahoma. I'm a full-blown Oklahoman. Yep. Cool.
Oklahoma.
Got a Oklahoma driver's license and everything.
That's cool.
Like I'm slowly dying inside.
Oh gosh.
Just kidding. It's not that bad. Tulsa's pretty cool. Minus the race rides, but whatever. We'll talk about that later.
Oh, God.
And this podcast is brought to you by Rabbit Trails.
So yeah, this is This is like so. This is one of those IPAs that has a nice little, like, it's a nice mixture of bitter and fruity. Like the tangerine comes through enough to where you get kind of a. It's almost like it's not even like tangerine fruit. It's like almost the peel itself. And so you get that with the bitter, and it's just a nice. Like it's not too fruity.
No.
It's just enough to add a little bit of a flavor to the bitterness. It's a good balance, I think.
But the color, I mean, it definitely tastes more like tangerine peel. I feel that as well. But the color kind of looked like it was a tangerine was juiced into it.
When it's hazy, it's all good. Look at that light through it. Ooh, not much light. Yeah, it's. And you can see the little particles floating in it. That's what I like too.
It's probably your backwash, actually. Matt's is clear. Just kidding.
Well, no, the bigger chunks are my backwash, but the smaller ones. So those are the ones I'm talking about, Zach. Come on now.
It's because you got that hay sticking out of your mouth, all over.
Because I'm just a Oklahoma hayseed. Yeah.
I think it's an interesting mix because a lot of times they use Citra. I don't know if this has Citra hops in it or not.
Let me see.
But it tastes more like a lot grassier hops.
Yep.
So you get a bit of that tartness, sweetness, and then you get that grassiness.
Yep.
Which is, yeah, I like that combination. The mixing of the two is really good.
Apparently, there's a little bit of pineapple flavoring too, as a secondary tropical fruit flavor.
Huh.
I don't really taste the pineapple though. So
No, if it's there, it's
very mindful.
beyond subtle.
Of course, Stone could be lying to us.
They could.
They are arrogant bastards, after all.
Yes.
So,
this is accurate. So, yeah.
I generally like fruity IPAs as long as they're not too fruity. If there's too much fruit, if it overpowers the hops, then I kind of it becomes more of like a juice than it does a beer.
Right.
And then I'm just like, why am I drinking this? I could just go home and have a bottle of orange juice and be healthy for once. Whereas, after I get done mowing, which thankfully I don't have to do that tomorrow, I can actually sleep in tomorrow, which will be nice. The first thing that I like to taste is a little bit of bitterness just to knock the edge off of the heat. So, yeah, this is my kind of beer for right after a morning of mowing.
Don't your cows do that for you?
That's some cow shit, Zach.
Some male cow excrement. Yeah. No, I can see that. It'd definitely be good, like, after doing some yard work beer. Like, yeah, it's a little bitterness, but also it's still refreshing at the same time.
What would y'all say the mouthfeel is? I don't ever take
the liquid
time.
does not linger very long.
Nope. It's like bitter up front, and then it kind of just dies really quickly as it goes back.
Yeah.
I don't know, it kind of stays bitter on the edges of my tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. And I think when I smell it, I get a hint of the pineapple. And smell the tangerine and the hops.
Yeah, you can smell the pineapple more in the.
You can't really taste it though.
Yeah, no, tastes more like tangerine peel.
Or maybe just the hops overpower the pineapple.
So it's like with Austin's pick, the fresh squeezed. That one has more of a like a juicy to it. Whereas
Right.
this one dries your mouth a lot more.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, I like
That's good.
fresh squeezed as well. So
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's a little bubbly too, but it's actually not. It doesn't seem too carbonated or anything, which is
Nope.
nice.
No, it's not overly effervescent.
Yeah, doesn't make me just want to burp after every other
Yeah.
sip.
and
I
it's
like
simple.
that.
Yeah, it's simple. Not a whole lot to it.
Mm.
The front taste, the back taste stays bitter on the sides, as Zach says, and then it's pretty much gone.
Simple but sweet and bitter.
Yep, and refreshing.
Yeah, and pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like these songs.
I'm setting us up for later. That's why I said.
You know me, I always try to transition 3 minutes before we transition.
Yeah.
Here's a transition. Cool, let's now rate it. Right.
Yeah, let's rate it.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. You do out of 5, right?
Yep.
So
5
I'm gonna
what?
go 5 pint glasses.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with 3.5 pint glasses on this one. It's not like top tier IPA for me, but it's a good go-to. It's one that would have no issues going to a store, and if there was just not a whole lot of choice, but this one was there, I would pick it up every single time. But if there was some other types of IPAs that I'm a bigger fan of, I would probably never pick this one. So over those. Yep. That's my pick, 3.5. Because 1 pint glass has been broken because I drank too much.
And then you're halfway through the other one.
That's right.
Zach.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about 3.5 as well. So yeah, it's good. It's a good go-to one. Not exactly like, not my favorite IPA,
Yeah.
that I'd pick all the time, but definitely one I'm enjoying now. I've enjoyed before and I'll enjoy again.
Yep.
I'm gonna go 2 point.
I really hate this IPA. This sucks.
I agree with everyone else. 3.5 is the perfect
Ooh.
score. It's middle of the road.
Yeah, I feel like if the bitterness didn't linger as long,
Yeah.
then maybe it would bump it up a little higher.
Yeah.
But it lingers for quite a while. So.
If it didn't linger as long, and if the flavor was just a slight bit richer,
Yeah.
then it would probably get a higher rating. But as far as this goes, though, I mean it's a good go-to. So I'm good with it. It's like it and Happy Camper and all those fresh squeezed. It's kind of in that category.
Yeah, it's a very, very stonish beer though. Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Like it has their signature flavor.
That heavy hop profile.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Sorry, Matt, we cut you off. But 3.5.
3.5.
Untapped.
That's what we got. Untapped. I should actually start doing
didn't-
that. I haven't done it for the past 2 episodes. I should add those in there. So I need to remember to do that. Is add those 2 in this one.
Well, I tried to do Untapped every so often, and then I fell at it. So don't feel bad, Matt.
Okay. Been keeping track by taking these Thirsty Thursday picks
Oh, nice.
for a music Al.
Mhm.
So now we have like a running list in our Instagram stories
I
that
like
we can easily go back to. Go like, oh yeah, that one was good. Yeah.
Do you write down all the scores so you can easily access them?
Did I put the scores on?
No,
No.
Matt's his brain holds on to it
Oh, okay.
forever. So
Well, this one will be easy because we all voted 3.5. So
yeah, and there's a podcast with it on it. So
Yes, I do have a podcast. Yeah, we do have a
back
podcast
to
with the score on it. Yeah.
what are you trying to say? I never used to go back and listen to my podcasts. Do y'all listen to your podcasts?
Yeah,
That's
that's
weird.
I'm the one that edits it, so I have to You know.
I can't stand listening to myself talk. So
I've gotten used to it.
I like listen to all of our guests, so you know I relive the memories of having having these interactions with you guys.
Yeah.
Except for this time, and now it just brings you memories of missing my wedding, and then it makes you sad.
Anyways,
also,
also, when I re-listen to the podcast, I'm like, man, it sounds stupid when I said that time. I'll have to not say that again. Oh, see, Matt agrees.
No, I'm agreeing for myself because there's things that I have said that I think sound terrible and stupid that I make sure I fix for the next time.
Well, don't say anything stupid this time because it's all on live.
I know we had one viewer and they're gone. So.
Well, just to interject for a second, like just in case for some reason, technology glitches, you can just get back on here and call me maybe.
You do realize that's a different album, right?
I know. Which I had to find the song to remember was. No, I'm just kidding.
That's hilarious.
I know. Because I don't know. I'll let Matt transition.
Like this is.
We've
had you on numerous times. It's because we really, 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 really like you.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice of you to say.
But do we really, 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 really like Carly Rae's Emotion?
Oh.
Maybe?
I can guarantee you Zach doesn't.
Yeah.
Hey, Blake, why don't you give me love, man? Come on.
So maybe we can start off just talking about the album as a whole, and then we'll get
because you said
to some individual songs.
One of the best of all time, probably the best of 2015. Yeah.
Yeah, it should have been higher on my end of the year list in 2015. It was 9 that year. That's because I hadn't deeply fallen in love with it until 2016, 2017. And so, now it would have been probably in the top 5, maybe top 3 that year for sure. Anyways, I think to some extent you almost have to get a brief idea of like her progression. So have y'all listened to her very first album?
Yes.
And it's a weird
albums?
Yeah, she has 3. So it's not
a part of it.
It's not Kiss or whatever. Yeah, the second one.
Yeah.
Not the one that has Call Me Maybe. It's the very
Tug
first
of War.
one. It's like Tug of War. Yep. So if you listen to that one, it's this weird combination of singer-songwriter with a pop edge. But there's elements of the lyrics like on Money and the Ego where she gets into these like deeper elements of like human relationships and what happens whenever you get famous and your reputation and your pride get in the way of your being human. There's just weird moments where she gets super serious on the album, and it's this weird combination of like, okay, a couple of really serious songs and then a couple of love songs, and then it's just really, it's a good album, but it's inconsistent. It's all over the place. But then you get to Kiss, which is the second album, and I actually really don't like that album. Like, there's probably the first half of the album is okay. Call Me Maybe is a great song just because it's catchy. But the second half of the album, I tune out all the time. And so it's like she figured out the area of pop she does well at, and she made a bunch of love songs that really don't have a lot of depth. They're just catchy. And so, but then comes along Emotion, and you could get a sense that she was moving into the retro 80s sound in Kiss, but she was more kind of influenced by elements of like EDM and stuff like that, and some of the production. And she moves into Emotion. She just pretty much goes full retro 80s. Like some of the stuff sounds like Pat Benatar. Some of it sounds like, stuff that I would expect Hall & Oates to sing. The subject matter is where I think it gets interesting because she starts to slip less happy elements into the lyrics. I was briefly reading a Think Christian piece earlier today that talked about the album Emotion and how it is a lot of like you listen to the whole album and it's more about broken relationships than it is about getting into relationships or having love. Like it's so in that sense it's actually a traditional. It's 80s in every aspect because 80s music, as you know, Matt, because we both love Tears for Fears, really upbeat music, really depressing lyrics. And so like it's iconic 80s sound. And so I will say that the first time I heard the album Emotion, I didn't like it. And you can ask Carl Laminin about that. Who y'all had on the show, because we talked about the album on our past podcast Impossible to Say, which is now defunct, and I gave it a lukewarm review when I listened to it the first time, and I'm not exactly sure what kept me listening to it, but as I listened to it I grew to love it more, and it's because I think I focused on some of the lyrical content and noticed that there's more going on in this album than I initially thought. So yeah, it's I think it's a good combination of her finding her sound and production, and then adding into that some of the lyrical complexity that was showcased on our first album, but because the production's better and she has a more consistent sound now, it works better as a whole. And so the more I think about it, the more I realize that I think I'm gonna make a prediction, and I'm probably gonna be wrong, but oh well. I'm gonna say that Emotion will be remembered far longer than 1989 will. Because I think that's Taylor Swift's kind of masterpiece, at least at this point, is 1989. And so I think Emotion's got more legs. I think it's got more going on in it than meets the eye. And I think the subtlety is what makes it stick around. So what did y'all think of it?
Well, you and I have a history.
Yes, we do.
T Swift forever.
we have a history with this because you and I did a written conversation piece.
Yep.
Comparing this album to Tegan and Sarah's Heartthrob, or the Tory Gazette.
Yep.
And so
shout out to Josh Torrey.
Yes. And at the time, I preferred much more the Tegan and Sarah album, and
which is also very good.
Yeah, which is excellent. And so I don't know, listening in preparation for this podcast. I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, I started to listen to it, and I was just like, oh, I just can't with this music. Like, I don't know if it was just like I was in a bad mood that day or what was going on, but I got a couple songs.
Exactly what I was hoping for.
I got a couple songs in. I was just like, nope. But this past week, listening to it, I was like, I think I'm getting this now.
No, so I get that. Like it's almost like it's like an earwig. Like at first you're like, what the heck is going on here? But then it kind of it digs into you, and you're like, yeah, this is kind of good. Yeah, I can dig this. And then eventually you find yourself being a insufferable like champion for it. Like me. So
Did Carly Rae fans have a stan group? Do they have a stan name?
Oh yeah, I'm sure they do. I'm not part of it, but yeah, I wouldn't even know where to find it.
That's exactly the exact description that I always want for my favorite music is I don't really like it. Oh, but now it's gonna dig into you and no. That's it. That's what I want playing through my earbuds.
No. It's that it digs its claws into you, and eventually you start to like it.
Yeah, I think
you have to spend time with it.
A little bit like
you have to spend time with it.
Okay.
You have to explore it. Like all good music, you have to explore it. You gotta sit with it, let it wash over you. Do you ever let something wash over you, Zach? Like a soothing bath?
Yep. 3 times a week when I take a shower. That's when something washes over me.
What about heavy metal? Do you let that wash over you? Like a cold hammer to the back?
Well, I listen to Viking heavy metal, so it's an axe and not a cold hammer.
I feel like we should do a side tangent on a monomarth because I'm a big fan of the monomarth. That's Viking metal.
Yeah, I don't know. You want another rabbit trail for Matt to edit out? Yeah. A monomarth is like, it's my favorite. Before we get back to the pop music.
I've heard rumors that that Monomarth is going to do a feature on the new Carly Rae Jepsen album. So
I don't know if I believe you. Because that would be the best. You heard it here first on Music L.
Amen to that, buddy.
Zach's favorite, Blake's favorite, combined, making music babies.
So Matt, you ended up liking it, or you at least ended up getting to where it was not bothering you?
Yeah, I ended up liking it. I was singing along to it. I got to that point.
Yeah,
I was singing along to it. I wasn't even like just kind of had it in the background. And I'm like grooving out to it, and I was like, okay, I guess I like this now.
So most people I know that whenever I tell them to listen to it, the thing I get is this is way too much energy and way too perky for my taste. And they're like, so why do you like it? And my only answer to that is
my question, Blake. How old are you again?
As a 34, almost
as a 34-year-old grown-ass man, why do you love this pop album? This teenage girl music, what brings it to you?
So my only guess, and really like it's anyone's guess ultimately, but my best guess is that the last 4 or 5 years have been pretty difficult in a lot of ways, family stuff and various things like that. And I'm a generally pretty melancholy guy in general. So I tend towards the sad music most of the time. But whenever you listen to a lot of sad music and you're generally melancholy, and then shit hits the fan, and then shit hits the fan in your life, it gets a little depressing. And so I think Carly Rae Jepsen
genre, and you're just drinking wine, crying.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Carly Rae Jepsen came at the right time, and it hit that 80s vibe, which I love. And it just so happened it was one of the few albums that could actually lift my spirits when I needed it. And so I really that's the only reason I can think of why this one hits and I just love 80s music. So it's totally a retro 80s album. And so that's the only reasoning I can give. Outside of that, it's still kind of weird that I'm a 35-year-old guy who likes Carly Rae Jepsen. So there's no going back from that. So
you do you.
What about you, Zach?
I think, just a little side tangent. I think the only 80s music I like is Manowar. Good old rock music.
Nice.
Yeah, but that was Yeah. So
I'm
like
excited.
all pop albums, I listened to it the first time through, and I'm like, all right, yeah, like this is catchy, it's all right. And then as soon as that album's over, the songs are in my head, and I am pissed. And they like keep repeating, and it makes me so angry. I'm like, yep, that was a pop album. It was catchy. All these songs are in my head, and now I'm like going around brooding after being happy for 45 minutes. And like friggin' like, yeah, I mean, I like Taylor Swift and Katy Perry a bit, and like I'll listen to them every once in a while, but then I'll make the mistake of listening to a full album, or like listen to a couple songs a couple times over. All of a sudden it's stuck in my head, and I'm like, mother, and I'm like so excited, and I'm like, oh.
So Zach, why are you so averse to being happy?
What? No, yeah. I don't know. My wife's been asking me that for 5 years. So. Yeah. So I mean, and then yeah, because there'll be some songs I'll listen to it, right, and then like when it just gets super repetitive on these certain songs, and I'm like, no. I just have to like skip to the next one. I'm like, this is just stupid. You've said the same 4 words for the last 2 minutes.
Really?
Really?
I'm not going to listen to this section of the podcast. Skip forward 30 seconds. It'll get good again.
I really think, because
done a trigger warning.
Yeah, exactly.
Trigger warning. There's repeated words in this section. You might want to skip it. 30 seconds ahead.
Trigger warning. It's pop music.
Yep. I feel like that's another category that you can divide people into. People that can handle repetitive music or repetitive lyrics in music, and people who hate it. Because my grandmother, I think, is the type that is just like you, Zach. If she hears repetitiveness, I can't say it, repetitiveness in music, she's done. She's done. Like, she wants it changed over. She doesn't want to hear it. Whereas I'm like, you can repeat it all day long. It doesn't bother me. As long as it sounds good.
If I want to repeat, I would put the freaking song on repeat, and then I'll listen to it again. I want to hear those words again. I like the song. I'll do that, but I don't.
Or you just intentionally scratch a record on that song and just have it repeat over and over again.
So, in that conversation piece that you and I had, Blake.
Yes.
This is what I wrote.
You guys are talking outside of our conversation?
Yes.
This was a long time ago, Zach.
This is leaving me out like Texas.
This was before I met you, Zach, actually.
Okay,
I think. Cool. I said, for me, there are only 2 tracks that really matter on emotion, All That, and Boy Problems.
Yep.
Wait, you said that?
I said that in 2015.
Okay, I want our listeners to know that Matt, Blake, and I have a group text that we've been talking about, and then Matt quoted himself.
Yes.
And he's like, actual quote, and he said that. I'm like, who said that? And then it turns out it was Matt.
Yes.
All he did was philosophical, Matt.
If you're the expert on something, you can quote yourself.
I want to swim in this deep well brain of yours.
Yes.
Yes. Exactly.
So we each chose one song.
Yep.
From the album. And so my question to you, Blake, is the song you chose one of those 2 songs?
Yes, it is. And it's one of the other song, the one you chose, Matt?
Perhaps. Perhaps it is.
All that means is that we've got boy problems.
Yes.
Yeah, so the song I picked, and it was a toss-up, really, was All That.
In between La Hallucinations.
Yep, La Hallucination.
La Hallucination.
Yes, those are probably the 2 standout tracks. So I'm going to disappoint y'all with All That, because All That, lyrically, doesn't really do a whole lot for me.
I really was hoping you'd be the lighthouse for me in this song.
Nicely done, Zach. Nicely done.
Okay, yeah.
You know what, Zach? Why are you lost at sea?
I'm in the sea of my unhappiness, Blake, and I was hoping show me the light, leave me the weight of joy.
Yeah, no, so all that is one of my favorite tracks simply because I like the sound of it. So it reminds me of a song like Love is a Battlefield or Betty Davis Eyes. You know, something that's a little bit more laid back, a little bit more of a ballad. It's really the only track on the album that kind of slows the pace down a little bit because it's a pretty most of the album is pretty fast. So
Yes.
And she's got one pace basically through most of the album, but then fifth track slows down, and like the song is about basically her trying to convince this guy, I assume, to kind of let her in to his life, let her in pain and whatever else is going on. So she's basically saying like, you know, let me be the one that you need me to be. And so I need to be all that, quote unquote. And so it's a pretty simple concept. It's not anything like amazing or anything like that.
Just so people see that part of the page, and
yeah, that's beautiful.
That's all the same words.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. That's true. So okay. yeah. So the chorus is yeah. So basically, like you said, it's very repetitive. It says, "Show me if you want me. If I'm all that, I will be there. I will be your friend. Show me if you want me. If I'm all that, I will be there. I will be your friend." So the song is not that complex, like lyrically.
No,
I just like the sonics of the song. I think the sonics, for one thing, it's catchy because it's so drastically different from the rest of the album. And why she put it on the fifth track instead of like halfway through or something like that, I don't know why. It works. I can't say it's a bad placement because I love this album and I don't really find too many issues with the track order. So, but I think it's one of those, it's literally a satisfaction, like the melancholy in me is like, yes, let's slow this down a little bit. Still upbeat, but there's an element of like Kim Carnes, some Pat Benatar going on in there. Like she's just saying, I need you, like I need to be this person for you, so let me in. Which I think is a beautiful sentiment. Like it's nothing new for pop music. So it's so yeah, like I know y'all were hoping I had this really profound like explanation, but it's all sound. It's all sound for me as to why all that works for me. If we want to talk about LA Hallucinations, however, it's all lyrics. Because lyrically, I think there's a lot of interesting things, and it goes back to her first album with the song Money and Ego, because she's talking about the same thing. Like it's a different song, but the concept is the same, and she's just talking about being in a relationship and getting into the space where they're getting fame, and it's tearing them apart because she talks about having a golden cup that has a hole in it. So black hole in it. So she says, keep pouring, keep filling it up, and it's never going to fill up.
So this was La La Land before La La Land.
Exactly. Yeah, I still haven't seen that movie, but I know the basic plot. So yeah. Yeah, so literally it's La La Land. And so it's just the idea that like having stature, having money, having power changes people to the point where the relationships they once had are damaged a lot of times. And so happiness becomes a lot more difficult. Joy becomes despondency. And I just like the concept. And I also like the element in the song where she has this very raw little laugh after the first verse.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember hearing, she was on Song Exploder, talking about a different song, but she mentioned the fact that I think it's Jack Antonoff heard her laugh and he recorded it, and he's like, we've got to put that in somewhere. And so they put it in on LA Hallucinations, and it works. Like, I love that part of the song just because it feels like she's actually having a good time. Like, this is something she loves. She's not doing it to feed the machine. She's not doing it to basically just to get a #1 song or get money. Like, she's doing it because she enjoys singing. She enjoys performing. And the fact that he had enough mindfulness to capture that kind of intimate and present moment and put it on the album, I just love it. So, yeah, so sonically speaking, I think this album works for me more than lyrically. I think lyrically there's some good stuff, like certain songs that dig a little deeper than others. But consistently speaking, the sonics of this album are what keep me coming back. So,
yeah, if we move back to All That for a second, for me, it really reminds you of Prince when he's doing his ballads.
Yeah.
So much so where it's just saccharine and like the singing is like so overly earnest and just exposed and vulnerable.
Yep.
You got that funk bass going on in the background. Just all of that. I love all that combination of that.
You loved all that.
Yes, I loved all that. and also just has like a ridiculously long outro, just like Prince does on his ballads, where they just go on forever and ever. But those are like in a lot of Prince ballads, those are like the most magical moments. Like Purple Rain, the outro on that is just amazing. Like, it goes on forever and ever and ever and ever. But there's just incredible stuff in there. I feel like that's the same here because she starts doing all these vocal things. And the instrumentation becomes really interesting because you have that bridge part where the chords are just like all over the place, just going up and down and all over the place. And then you get to that outro, and even though it's like the same chords that we've been hearing earlier in the song, it starts to have some of that rhythmic activity of the bridge and the moving around and everything like that. And so it becomes really, really interesting sonically at the end. Yeah. I also liked how it lyrically like, you just by the title of the song, All That, like, it's either, I think what that brings to mind is like either that she's gonna say that she's all that, or
a bag of potato chips,
or that the guy
potato chips
that he's talking about, or she's talking about some guy who thinks that he's all that. But it's like not that sense at all. It's like, I can be everything you need me to be as your friend to comfort you in whatever you're going through. And so that just like the title just sets this expectation, but she takes it in a direction that you wouldn't even think.
Well, not only that, but you've had 4 tracks leading up to it where you get used to the pace and you're thinking this is all going to be super sweet, super poppy. And then you're like, oh, all that. Well, this will be another one of those. And then it slows down and you're like, wait a second. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I agree completely.
Yeah.
Well, Zach's like, no.
I know songs like this are in the peak of the songs that I despise. I completely dislike any song with this sort of
repetition,
melodrama, repetition, stuff.
And
the fact that Matt compared it to Prince stuff,
Yes.
made me puke a little bit in my mouth, which then actually brought back the bitterness of the Tangerine Express. So I was thankful for that part. But and I tasted the pineapple. I just want you to know.
So it takes a second time.
But yesterday, so I'm listening to the playlist, right, on my way home from work of the songs we're going to discuss, and it's raining. And also, for some reason, it's kind of down yesterday. I'm sitting there at, like, the little intersection, turn left into my neighborhood, and, like, rain's coming down. And then, like, the lyrics of, I'll be your lighthouse when you're lost at sea. I'll keep my light on, baby. You can always come to me. And, like... it like kind of clicked a little bit. Yeah. And I was like, and like the rain coming down, and in my car, I'm like, well, this is like the only moment I'll probably ever enjoy this song. So there was a slim like 30 seconds where I was like,
hey,
and then
that's all it takes.
I skipped it, right? But yeah, so there was a brief second of yeah.
Hey, you know what?
But besides that, I'm quite fine after this podcast never hearing that song again. Just saying, like, I was just not.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So what about boy problems, Matt?
Yeah, man. Yeah, boy problems. Kendrick giving you problems.
He discovered his penis. So in the bathtub yesterday.
Nice.
For you listeners to know, we're talking about his baby, not the rap artist.
Yes.
He discovered his penis quite a while ago.
I mean, he talked about it. He said, matter of fact, it's 9 inches.
Oh,
your son said that? Man, that's impressive.
No.
Matt, you have good genes.
No, Kendrick said that in for free.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. Boy problems. Yeah, this one is just a lot of fun and very catchy. And I was telling my wife the other day, because she is a huge Sia fan, and Sia wrote this track with some other people. I don't know who the other people is.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
And plus, she's the voice at the beginning.
Yep.
So I told her, I was like, I like a Sia song besides Chandelier, because any other Sia song besides Chandelier I have not liked. It's like, I like this one. This one's very catchy and fun, and it also has a funk bass, which is really enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
And
You don't like the Cheap Thrills song by Sia?
No.
Oh, I like that
one. No, I do not.
But yeah, back to boy problems.
No. It's just a fun, upbeat vibe, and there's a lot of syncopation going on, and I love that rhythm at the end. Yeah. That very syncopated rhythm with the synthesizer. That's dope. So it's super upbeat, super optimistic. But like, as you said about the album as a whole, the lyrics are not so happy. And like the previous song, the title is misleading.
Yep.
Because you would think, oh, she's going to talk about the boys she's dating, all the problems she's having with them, which she is, but she's complaining about her boyfriend to her friend, and her friend is so annoyed about it and so frustrated about it that her friend's like, I am done with you as a friend because this is getting ridiculous.
Well, that's the cleverness of a lot of these tracks, is that like she's playing on the cliches of pop music.
Yeah. So it's really, the whole song is not really about boy problems. It's about losing a friend.
Yep.
And it's more like Carly's a problem.
Yep.
Than boy problems.
Carly is a problem because she always has boy problems.
She always is complaining about her boy problems to her friend. And yeah.
Yeah, no, I dig that track too. It's one that I actually came around on later on, because like it always kind of, like track wise, it would usually sync to the back of tracks that I paid attention to. but within the last year or so, it's kind of come to the forefront. I've started to appreciate it more, which is pretty normal. Like a lot of the tracks that I didn't used to be all about have kind of found their way into my liking them for whatever reason. And Boy Problems is definitely one of them. Especially when you read the lyrics and then you're just like, oh, that's kind of clever. I like that. But that's Sia for you. Like Sia actually does better when she writes for other people, I think.
Yes, I agree. Also, like the harmony in this is interesting because it's not really goal-oriented harmony. And what I mean by that is that a lot of times in songs, they are coming to, there's this tension and then there's a release. And it's coming to, it feels like in a cycle of chords that there's a release at some point where it feels like it comes to a resolution of some sort. And in this song, the chord structure, it does not have any of the chords, none of them feel like release. It always just feels,
yeah, that makes sense.
Like it just keeps on going, and there's never a resolution. And that I felt like that really fit well with the song because you don't know where she's left off with the friend. Like she's at losing the friend, but she's trying to, it sounds like she's trying to keep from losing the friend.
Yeah. And there's no resolution.
Yeah.
Yep. Makes sense.
Zach? Was this one less annoying?
It was less annoying, yeah.
It was less annoying. Yeah. Well, it's probably because it fed into his averseness to happiness because there was no resolution.
Yes.
I just kind of think it's the like opposite pop version of 99 Problems.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I guess I haven't looked super deep into the lyrics. Not that there's I wasn't quite sure all what was going on. She's just singing about boy problems. But, but yeah, it's good. It's catchy. I mean, like all good pop songs, it gets really repetitive towards the second half at the end. But
fair enough.
Yeah, no, it wasn't too bad. Like, I mean,
I'm to be honest, I'm actually intrigued by the one you picked and why you picked it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
let's get right into it.
All right.
Yeah.
So right. So here I'm like, what the heck? These almost 30 and 2 30-year-old guys, we're gonna be talking about this freaking teenage girl pop album. And so I'm like, all right, putting off listening to it as long as I can. Also, I didn't know till 2 days ago that she was the one that sings "Call Me Maybe." So that was a cool little trivia I wanted to bring to the podcast in case there's one listener that maybe
you've now been informed.
Yeah, you're first from Musical.
Holy crap! She was the one who wrote or sang "Call Me Maybe."
Yeah.
Crap, man!
I found that yesterday. Yeah,
that changed my whole world.
Yeah. But
I'm just stunned silence right now.
Okay, so I'm listening through it, right? And I'm like, like kind of listen through it. I'm like trying to listen to the album. And then I was like, all right, which ones are we talking about? So I'm like, okay. And then kind of listen to those. And then the song after Boy Problems comes out on. And I'm like, ugh. I'm not even going to listen to it right now because I'm pretty sure I get re-stuck in my head. But I remember I didn't like it. I'm like, not this song. And I skipped it, and then Your Type started playing. I'm like, what is this? And like instantly, I'm like, I think this is gonna be my favorite song on the album. Turns out it is. I don't know. Like here, we're gonna have 10 seconds of silence on the podcast. But so, like. I know, yeah, like that you like your favorite music has to, you hate it and then it like bites you and then it like works its way into your skin and then you love it and you become its slave. But for me to like a song, like it has to like hit me first. I'm like, yeah, no, and like let's do it again, and then I like it more instead of like you're
like you don't have to
die. You're like
the
like stock market, and I'm like a steady slope. No, I don't know.
No, that's actually pretty good. I like that. I'm the stock market.
Yeah. Yeah. So I started listening to it, and then like the beat with it kind of made me think. Sorry, I have to sound somewhat knowledgeable, so I forgot the name of the other thing I was going to reference real quick. All right, so the beat of it, when it first started, even though it's like, kick, snare, kick, snare, like how that beat is, like it instantly made me think of the California song by James Blunt.
Oh, okay.
Which is just the kick drum, but kind of same thing, and it has like that same feel kind of for me. When I first started listening to it, turns out the only like pop-ish songs or whatever I like are like sad breakup sounding ones. I don't know. Oh no. Just feeds into my
verseness.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Really, I don't want to be happy. But yeah, so I started listening to it and I was like, all right, like this is pretty good. And then like I liked it and stuff, and kind of listened around, skipped around the album trying to find something else, like just in case. But I'm like, no. So I like texted Matt yesterday, I think it was. I was like, yeah, pretty sure I'm gonna do your type. He's like, sweet. And
Matt was like, oh, it figures you'd pick the one about unrequited love.
Well, actually, Matt said, hey, I'm your type. And I said, no, Matt, you're just my friend.
And I said, I got friend zoned again.
Yeah.
Friend zoned again.
Yeah, that's okay.
Story of my life till recently.
Yeah.
Not my life. Hey.
Yeah.
Look at this mug.
So Zach,
I can't see it. Yeah. So then I was listening to it.
Zach,
mm-hmm.
Zach,
yeah.
Is this a song that you would listen to some other time, or you'll never listen to it again? You just
because. All right. So then last night, like I also watched the music video for it, which isn't really anything special. Like I don't know if you guys seen it. No, but it's just her kind of like not doing that well in life, and then now I'm singing at this bar or strip club or something like that. I don't know what it was. But so then I don't know, like I'm a visual learner. So when something that I kind of like is then tied into something visually, then it kind of, but then so I was listening to it and like, so for every one or two times I'd listen to your guys' song, I'd listen to this one multiple more times, you know, repeat this one a couple times. But then I don't know. And then on the way here, I was playing the playlist through the speakers of the car. We're driving here, and I like listened to all that. Like halfway through, skip to the next song, you know. And then, but also to precursor for all this, I was talking to Caden, my 10-year-old, and I was like, "All right, I'm about to play some catchy pop music. You are not allowed to ever sing these because I don't want them stuck in my head again after I get them out of my head tonight." I was like, if you sing any of these, I'm going to be very angry. I was like, but I need to listen to them for research.
That's awesome.
Right? And then your type was on, and if it wasn't for my 3-year-old in the backseat who complains if music's ever loud, I probably would have turned this song up pretty loud and been like singing to it. And I was like, oh no. I've moved from the point from kind of liking to potentially loving this song.
You caught the Carly Rae.
I was like,
hey, Carly Rae, if you're watching, you brought a new fan into your.
Well,
the fan of one song.
As I've discovered, only liking one song by a musician doesn't actually count as you so much liking the musician. Because it turns out I also only like one Bon Iver song. Bon Iver, how do you say it? Keep in the edit that I said it correctly.
Nice.
But like I'm like Skinny Love. I'm like, this is a great song. I love Bon Iver. And then like I listened to the rest of the stuff, I started getting depressed. I was like, I don't like any of this. I was like, oh, okay. I think I just like that song. Like, so
That's awesome.
I don't know. I just really like your type. And it's actually been added to my playlist, which I call Bad Day Drive Home. And I listen to it on days where I listen to these other songs sometimes on the way home. And
that's kind of beautiful, actually. I'm proud of you. Give me a clap on that one. I feel like my job is done here.
It only took 3 seasons. But I don't know. There's just something
about it.
Yeah, something about it, and I just want to play it just really loud and maybe sing along to it if no one's watching or no one can hear me.
There's something about Carly. Just saying.
There's just something about the song. Don't you credit the maker. It's just this song.
That's awesome.
What I find fascinating about this song is that it's super consistent music-wise throughout the entire thing. There's a couple points where the beat drops out.
Yep.
But otherwise, it's the same kick snare throughout. There's a couple of little fill things here and there, and then you have like the keyboard da 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 in the background. But what makes it interesting?
Exercise ball just fell.
Serge yoga ball fell down. What makes it interesting is her vocal delivery. Especially, what is it? And in the pre-chorus, because the way she delivers those lines is just like it sounds frantic.
Yeah.
Like the rhythm of it is just like, I still love you. I'm sorry, I love you. I didn't mean to say what I said. And like that's exactly like how her vocal delivery in that section. And you could just like feel the like nervousness and the upsetness and like trying to fix it in the way she sings it. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, no, I dig that part too. And to some extent, like this is a sentiment that I don't hear as often in pop music. The kind of the idea of unrequited love, the fact that you like this person, but you're not the type of person they look for. Like I'm not your type, So
yeah,
like that's the one thing that's keeping me from being happy with you is that I'm just not that type of girl for you, and which is the worst place to be. It is literally the friend zone.
Yes.
So yeah, it's. Like songs about unrequited love are rarer than other types, but they tend to be some of my favorites in a lot of ways. So because who hasn't had that feeling at some point in their life?
Right, exactly.
So
and I think it's a bit different than a lot of unrequited love songs.
Yeah,
because she has a recognition of what's going on.
Yep.
And maybe a small amount of acceptance about it, even though she really doesn't want to accept it.
Yeah. And just enough of self-awareness about it. Yeah.
This is another time where the title lies.
Yep.
Your type.
No, not your type. Not your type.
Yep. No, I think that's a fabulous pick, Zach. Good job.
Thanks.
But I like all these songs, so deal with it. By the way, you brought up music videos, and there's only one music video that I think is actually good from her like collection, and it's "I Really Like You," but that's because it has Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah.
And it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that one.
Yeah, it's worth watching. But yeah, her music videos are not that great usually. So
Should we move into the pairing?
Yeah. Unless you want to talk about La hallucinations.
Oh,
which means
here
it's
it
a
is.
female.
Yeah.
La.
Yeah.
It's male be L.
I'm good transition.
Okay, then transition. I'd like to hear your type of a transition.
Like, tell us why this beer was your type for emotion.
Because it's a little bit fruity, a little bit bitter. So I was thinking, you listen to this album, it's a little bit, a little bit sweet, a little bit fruity, like all teen pop music is. But then, just a little bit, and you dig down a little deeper.
She gained a lot of gay fans.
She actually does. She actually. So she has a lot of gay fans.
With this album, she did. She gained a lot. I was reading up on that. So
yeah, no, it's well liked within that community for sure.
yes.
Actually, she in general is well liked in that community because she plays for a lot of the LGBT friendly festivals and things like that. So yeah, if you follow her on Instagram, she shows pictures and whatnot from a lot of those sets. So
well, side note.
Cool to see that. But
keep talking, whatever.
What's your side note?
Yeah, side note.
Oh yeah, so after I YouTube this song and then just went to another song and then got into the Taylor Swift realm. And then I had a Taylor Swift song that her backup dancers were some very flamboyantly gay guys.
Yes. Perfect.
Yep. It was an important side note. And back to Blake.
So as you dig a little deeper into the album, like you kind of get the general pace and you get the poppiness of it at first, but you dig down a little deeper, and there's a lot of bitterness going on underneath, and so, but it's still pop music, and so like even I, as much as I love this album, I can listen to it, and it doesn't stick with me very long, and so. Part of the reason why I picked this beer is that it's very quick. Like you get the taste up front, it moves back, and it kind of starts to disappear. There's a lingering bitterness because if you pay attention to the lyrics enough, you kind of think about that aspect. But the music itself passes pretty quickly. That's why you listen to it again, and it's the same thing. Like it's the reason why we keep coming back to this beer. Like it's a good, refreshing drink. It's not going to stick with you too terribly long afterwards, but you keep coming back to it. So that's part of the reason why I picked it.
For me, I feel like the bitterness lingers a little longer than I'd like.
Yeah.
Much like how they sing pop songs. Linger longer than I'd like. Longer than the 3-4 minutes they play.
Nice.
Yeah, and I don't know.
I just really want Zach to say and stuff.
And stuff?
Yeah.
Just say that.
That's one of my favorite things when you say that.
Well, this album, as far as pop albums go, I feel like is also a 3.5 and stuff.
Hey, 3.5 is actually better than I was expecting from you. I'll
It's
take
a scale of 10. No.
That's hilarious.
The album feels complex in the moment that you're consuming it,
Mm-hmm.
but then doesn't last beyond that. It's not something that then you ponder on for long periods of time.
Nope.
But it's very moments in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
like the beer, where it tastes complex. They have the tangerine, you have the grassy hops, you have this liquid filling your mouth. and then it just goes away, and then you just kind of forget
Yep.
about it.
Until you get it again, and then you're like, "This is really good."
Yeah, and then
Like,
yes,
yeah.
like this is good. I like this, and I'll have some more.
Yep.
Mm.
And another one, and another one.
Yeah.
And then eventually you're drunk on music. I'm just kidding.
Well, also, the same way that Stone is probably one of the best micro breweries, right? I guess Collier is, also one of the best pop. But
Amen to that, buddy.
the end of so, like Stone and Stone Fashion, they have the little paragraph at the end, and like, so just the last couple lines, it says, "This is Stone. We like our IPAs to taste like IPAs, big, bold, and not for kids." And that last sentence there, big, bold, and not for kids, I feel like sums up this album.
That's beautiful. I think that's a good end note, Zach. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Okay. And by that, I mean I listened to it with my 3 and 10-year-old on the way. Yeah.
Cool. Thank Blake.
Thanks, Blake. Bye.
Thank you,
Done with
Zach.
you and Carly.
Yeah. And that's all that.
I'll never listen to it again.
Yeah. I will listen to your type again.
It's a win. That's a win.
Yeah.
I'm putting that in the win category.
All right. 1 win. I mean, I don't know. You probably have other wins, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways. Yeah, just Blake, thanks for joining us again.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks
It's
for
always
having
a
me.
pleasure. Thanks for putting up with me and my
I love it.
shade throwing all the time.
Love every minute of it.
No, it's good. It's a pleasure.
Yep.
And also want to thanks throwing an S on the end of everything, like what my pre-K'er does now. And I also want to thank our listeners for tuning in. Oh man, Blake, where can people find you, just in case they haven't listened to the other 3 episodes?
I have changed my Twitter address or my Twitter
this is
username
good.
since then. So Lost in Osmosis is my Twitter username. And then you can find all my articles and publications at blakecollier.com.
Awesome. And now it goes on to the part of the podcast where I also want to thank you, listeners, for tuning in for another episode. Make sure to subscribe, rate us on Apple Podcasts, and tell your people about our people so that they can then tell their people. And it just spreads the good love of music and beer.
Amen.
Did you want to say anything about the threadless? It's point number 4 in my end category.
We mentioned in the middle of the show.
That's true.
We did mention
Just as a reminder, if
Yeah.
you're as forgetful as I am.
Musical.threadless.com. Get your shirt.
Get your shirt.
Yeah.
Represent.
We might have a sticker soon.
That'd be cool.
Ooh, I need to get my shirt and my sticker.
Yes.
So you and your car can match.
That's right. Because that's really key whenever you're styling and profiling in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Dodge or Chevy. I don't know. What are they driving?
It's a Nissan.
Dang it, Blake. You are interrupting our well put together outro.
It's always
and
well put together.
bringing down the quality.
And yet this is my 4th time on here.
And we'll have you on a 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're also on social media. We're Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Follow us on there. We also have a rotating playlist that we come out with Mondays on Spotify. 10 songs, refreshed weekly.
Yep.
Actually, it's been on Tuesdays.
Oh, man.
It's refreshed weekly. If you want to connect with us, let me start this all over. Yeah, so we also have a playlist. You can go on Spotify, and it's
Music Ale Rotating Tap.
Yes, and it's refreshed weekly. If you want to connect with us, we're on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you want to send us email, it's musicalepodcast@gmail.com, or you can text us. Have more of a conversation about Carly Rae, especially with Zach. I know he would love that.
Or good music and artists.
Yeah. You can do that at 1916-407-1390. Podcast produced and edited by me, Matt Linder. Theme and credits music by T-Pro. Follow him on SoundCloud at Scripture Boy Productions. Next time on Music Al.
I want Blake to say that.
Yeah.
Blake, can you say next time on Music Ale?
Next time on Music Hell.
Man, he's good.
This is next time will be the Ori one.
Yeah.
I think it should be called Every Day Beer and Music.
All right. Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Day of Blake.
Every day.
Every day. Every day.
Beer
I'm
and
just a
music.
simple country hayseed. Every day.
All I was hearing is dairy and hay. That's all that's
Can you say real quick?
real quick.
We forgot to do that at the beginning. Say
We forgot to do.
pairing beer and music with friends.
Oh man. Pairing music with friends.
Pairing beer and music. There, you're right there.
Yeah, I know. It's simple. I got it.
Pairing
Because you
music.
said this is music. Everyone's like, get out of the podcast. Pairing music and beer with friends. Pairing music and beer with friends. Pairing music and beer.
My dreams. And into my car. You're welcome.
All good
Zach.
pop music. Pairing beer.
Pairing
beer
beer.
music.
Okay, we're gonna end it for our YouTube watchers.
Oh yeah. Oops, sorry. Bye guys.
Total 0 right now. But hey, someone might
But
watch
there
this
was
after.
a one. Somewhere
There's one
there,
guy.
and
One gal,
oh,
one they. Who knows?
Quarter brand of shemale.
And we're done.